Hello, my name is Brandon Costner. I'm the owner of Kingdom Games. We are a video game store with 3 locations, one in Lakeport, one in Clear Lake, and one in Middletown. Currently we're open 6 days a week, so it's Tuesday through Sunday. Our hours here in Lakeport are 12 to 6, and then we're open extended hours on Fridays and Saturdays from 11 to 7, closed on Mondays. I started the business back in 2015. This is me here at our grand opening. We were blown away by the support we received from the community. You can see even Darth Vader came. I didn't even know you lived in Lake County. We just really knew that we had found our niche here. I started the store with my brother Seth. He's probably a bigger gamer, nerd, geek than I am. But tragically, about 2 months after that grand opening, we lost my brother Seth to suicide. I moved into our family home, and then sadly, about a year later, we lost that family home to the Clayton Fire. They did save our goats, though, so we were super happy about that. I spent a month in an RV in a friend's driveway after the fire, and then it was about a year in a friend's driveway, and then in 2022, we were actually able to move out of those trailers finally and move into a rental home in Middletown. So those are my 3 kids up there. So that was a little bit about me. Now we can talk about Kingdom Games. So what is the problem we're trying to solve? The first one would be there's nothing to do in Lake County. I mean, we hear this all the time. I'm sure you guys hear it too. The second one is we're broke. Lake County is one of the poorest counties in California. The third one is we're lonely. It's hard to make friends and find community sometimes here in Lake County. Our solution, we offer a safe, clean, and fun place to play games. So, come in, play a video game, learn how to play a board game. 2, we offer more cash for trade-ins guaranteed than our competitors. So, dig through your closet, try and find that old Atari, try and find that old Super Nintendo, bring in your PlayStation 4. You'll get more cash than you'll get anywhere else. And then, of course, number 3, we're all about growing our community. So, once again, come in. If you're lonely, come in and play a board game with us. We'd love to have you. In 2021, we made the big decision to open a second location in Clear Lake. Here's some photos of us building that store. Of course, I could not have done that without my amazing team. This is my manager, Shane, in Clear Lake, one of our newest guys. Theron, our employee. Over here's our Lakeport teams. We have Dan, he's the manager, and then Robert and Royce, our employees. Here at Kingdom Games, we do believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. So one of our goals is to get the store profitable and then create like a profit share incentive with our employees, or even an ESOP. In 2022, we added the newest member to our team, Lila. That's my daughter. This is one of my favorite ways to add members to our team, and who doesn't love free labor, right? This market is viable in any market, boom or bust. Collectibles appreciate over time. In recessions, people will sell us their games at very low prices, and we can actually utilize world markets to sell on eBay, Amazon, whatnot, and we can sell to potentially other countries, other collectors that aren't in a recession. In good times, people they buy these games for high prices. So you can see here, Shadow the Hedgehog is one of our examples. Back in 2020, this game was only worth $10. Into 2024, it shot up to $50. So if you have this stuff in your closet, if you have some old video game systems, old video games, whatever it is, dig those out, bring them in. They might be worth some money. For marketing, my favorite way to market my business is through community sponsorships. So we donate to the local music programs. We donate bikes to kids in need. We have a Little League team here in Lakeport that we sponsor that's called Kingdom Games. Of course, word of mouth, I think, is the #1 way that people spread the word about businesses in Lake County. If you do good business, you're going to have repeat customers. They're going to tell their friends. We do have a social media page. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. We do post a little bit on those pages. We are in the works trying to get a YouTube and podcast studio going so we can do YouTube and podcasting. The future. Our goal is to grow and expand to service a large community of local and online gamers. That means more tournaments, bigger selection of games, better prices, and more benefits for our staff and members. Come grow with us. Can't talk about the future without talking about the elephant in the room, the digital marketplace. Just like Netflix and Blockbuster, we cannot compete in a digital marketplace. So you can see here in 2009, about 20% of new video game sales in the US were digital, 80% were physical. Those are games we can buy and sell in our brick and mortar location. Whereas the digital games, we cannot touch those. We can't buy them, we can't sell them, we can't profit from them. In 2018, 83% of those sales were digital, the ones we can't touch, 17% were physical. So here in the next 5 or 10 years, getting the new games, it's not going to be a sustainable market for us. Retro's not going anywhere. We'll still have Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, board games. The video games are going elsewhere. That said, we believe it's time to pivot. We just moved our Lakeport location. We lease a 4,000 square foot building. We plan to add axe throwing, arcade games, a podcast, and a YouTube studio. That said, we can't do that without your guys' help. So if we win the 3rd place prize, we are planning on putting all that money into professional grade microphones, computers, cameras, chairs, soundproofing, all for our podcast studio. And that's a space that people can rent hourly or daily to produce their own podcasts and videos. And of course, we can utilize that as well and make our own podcasts and videos. If we win the 2nd place prize, that'll be spent on an axe throwing trailer. So that's going to help market our business as more than just a place to buy games, while also generating revenue through rentals, whether that's weddings, farmers markets, events, even events at our own store. If we win the 1st place prize, we're going to be getting the podcast studio and the axe throwing trailer and spending an additional $5,000 on arcade machines and pinball machines. That'll give someone something to do while they're waiting to use the podcast studio or the axe throwing trailer, while also generating revenue for us. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to the sponsors. And thank you to One Team, One Dream. We really appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Follow-up questions, judges.
In renting a podcast studio or outfitting a podcast studio, I think it's an interesting concept, but have you done any market analysis around like when the most popular times kids are demographics are viewing podcasts? Like if somebody needs to do it at 10 p.m. to midnight because that's prime viewing, are you going to be equipped to do that, kind of all hours of the day kind of service in a podcast studio, I guess is where I'm looking for clarity on how that would work out and maintain profitability for you.
So just to clarify, your question is, can we stay open that late? Is that right?
Yeah, are you equipped, or have you done any kind of market analysis around, hey, most people will want to shoot a podcast during these times, regardless of whether it's live or not? I know a lot of young children are into watching somebody play a video game while they're playing it. They don't want pre-recorded, they want it live, and they want to be part of the chat. So having that availability, and then people streaming for days on end in studio, how would that maneuver in the business?
It makes sense. I appreciate the question. We are planning on extending our business hours once we do get the podcasting going. So we will be open potentially right now, like I said, 12 to 6, potentially like 10 to 8. So we're trying to kind of capture more of that audience, like you said. So they would have the option to do like a live stream. Mostly what we're focused on is kids coming in wanting to like create a YouTube video, get the time, like the $40 an hour to sit and record a video and then post it online. So not so much focused on like the live streaming aspect of it, but that's definitely something we'll look into.
Understood, thank you.
Thanks for the question.
So I was really enthralled in watching your numbers, and then when you hit the pivot, I was like, oh dear. Because I didn't really hear the sustainability aspect of the business going forward after you pivoted. I don't really know the age demographic. I'm not quite sure what your competition in this business sector would be. So, I mean, I understand where you're going and what you said you were doing, but then in 5 years, you said you won't have that viability of that business. So could you quickly explain really the sustainability of that business sector that you're going into?
Yeah, sure. So I think what I was saying is the new video game sales, it's a big portion of our revenue, right? So it's like 30% of everything we sell is new release video games. So we're always going to have the Pokemon, the Magic, the board games, everything else we do, right? The retro video games, those aren't going anywhere. But we do need to hold on to that 30% we want to keep growing. So that's why we're looking at kind of expanding and becoming more of like, an arcade, having more events, focusing more on our strengths and less on our weaknesses.
How many employees do you currently have?
5. We also have some extra help from some programs like Ability Road and some other kind of work programs.
That's at both locations, there's 5.
5 covers both locations, yes. I run the Middletown store currently, but I'm working on getting employees.
Awesome.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
On a beach, sipping margaritas. The business, 10 years from now, I would love to have multiple axe throwing trailers, multiple axe throwing locations, arcades, just kind of go full into more of the entertainment business, more so than we already are. So that's really where the direction I see us heading.
Okay, are we good, judges?
Yes.
Good, all right. Thank you very much, Brandon.